In 2000, the world existed in a different light. 9/11 had not yet become etched into our collective consciousness. The words homeland security were not a regular part of our vocabulary. The dot-com boom had yet to take place. In fact, the internet was still in its infancy, and Tony Sager had been with the National Security Agency since 1977 and was able to watch technology evolve at a rapid pace. He had a front row seat to how collaboration between the public and the private sectors held a key to an American dream in cybersecurity.
What changed my life forever was I realized if I switched my career focus from mathematics to computer science, the government would buy me an Apple II Plus to have on my desk. And that was like, wow, the most amazing thing. Because, computers were a room full of stuff. Computers became part of our lives. They got connected to each other, became part of our economy. My career kind of paralleled all that and see what was happening and look at both the neat features that it brought to us, right? Our ability to access information from anywhere in the world.
The advancements in tech came in great strides, but they also introduced significant challenges. As Tony was working for the government, he and some of his colleagues started pondering how they could help solve some of the emerging issues in cybersecurity.
It's always a race between people want new features and what's the best thing coming out of the big IT companies. And they don't really want to be held back. Then we started to see in 2000 some of the first big hacks, what were called denial of service attacks on the early versions of eBay and Yahoo, big commercial providers, right? So we're sort of getting used to these ideas of doing things online. And then, wait a minute, pretty low-equipped criminal can cause great mischief, right? Essentially paralyze these systems. And people started to become aware of, wait a minute, what are these risks here? And what, I can't get my email. I can't conduct business. And I was working at the National Security Agency at the time. And one of the side products my group produced was, how do I configure technology? How do I set it up so it's more secure than when it comes out of the box?
After this series of cyber attacks, an unexpected turn of events opened the way to the creation of something beautiful. People from different backgrounds started to form a group that eventually led to the creation of the Center for Internet Security.
Part of our folklore is this meeting in what's called the Cosmos Club in Washington, D.C. And a group thought about this problem and the idea of how do we, the rest of the economy, deal with this? And their conclusion was we need something, right? We're not the government, we're not a giant financial company, but we could band together really bright minds from across the industry under kind of a volunteer model, a nonprofit model, an independent model, right, that cooperates with the industry but is independent of it, to sort of figure out what are the best things to do and make it available at very large scale at zero cost. And they wound up hiring someone to kind of turn it into a company. At its inception, the Center for Internet Security was set up with this open collaborative model. And again, the idea was a relatively small professional company that could bring together volunteers.
The protect people is that first part of what CIS does as an organization. We help people put things in place to protect their environments, right? We help them build walls, monitor their environments. So that's one big part of the organization. And the other is focused on operations, which is actually where I fit in the organization. So I run all of the operators and analysts that provide direct cybersecurity services to the nation's state, local, tribal, and territorial governments. My team does defense, which is, okay, you have the walls in place, and now an adversary is coming and attacking those walls. Put it back in medieval times, you needed to have archers and burning oil, and you dug a moat. How did you make decisions to use those protections that you put in place to to defend against an active threat? Think about it in terms of building security versus operationalizing that security.
After years of making significant contributions to the world, CIS still continued to spread their mission by forging new bonds and opportunities.
In about 2010, then, there was a notion of how do I help communities get better in security? And that brought the second big piece into the Center for Internet Security, which is the multi-state ISAC, Information Sharing and Analysis Center.
Our mission is to improve the cybersecurity maturity of state, local, tribal, and territory governments. So those are governments that provide critical services to the citizenry. And we want to make sure that those services are provided in a safe way, and that the data that you provide is protected, and that those services are available to you when you need them. So in the beginning, we were focused on the 50 states and territories, The idea was that the states would provide, or would be the pass-through to the local governments. States were not funded to be able to do that, basically, or not resourced appropriately to be able to do that. So we opened up to local governments, and that is any type of municipality you can think of, includes K through 12, includes libraries, public hospitals. Our membership, again, has grown tremendously to 16,000 organizations. You know, we'd love to be able to hit all 90,000 local governments, but you know, the reality is we're never going to be able to do that. But we'll do our best to hit as many as we can and spread the word and try to help make sure that those who are out here fighting this fight know that there's somebody that has their back and that's available here and available to them.